Hey everyone, welcome to another video of functional programming for STAT series, and today we are going to discuss about optional and FlatMap. And we are going to discuss some of the concepts, we are going to see some examples, and in the end we are going to have the demo of how we can use the concepts in the test automation. So let's start with the optional first. What is optional? So it is a container object that may or may not contain a non-null value, right? Why it was designed? It was designed considering that many a times while our programming, while our test automation, we might refer to a object which is null, right? And in that case, we will have null pointer exception. So optional helps us to avoid such situation and we can tackle that null pointer exception and we will know like the program execution will continue. So if you expect that, yeah, this particular part of your program can have a null value, you can use optional, right? Then how to use the optional? First thing is how to create the objects of optional. So there are three ways of doing that. If you are certain that a particular object will always have the value, then use optional.off. But if you will use this method for object which is null or which can be null, in that case you will get the exception, right? So how it is avoiding null pointer exception? Well, there are two ways of doing that. First one is, these are the two ways, right? The first one is off nullable. So in this case, the object can have a null value or cannot have a null value. It will accept both the ways of doing that, both the ways of initializing the optional, right? But if you are certain that object is always going to have the null value, just use optional.empty. Many a times you will use it in catch blocks or maybe sometime in else as well, right? Then accessing the values, how you can access the optional values using .get. This is one straightforward way of doing it, but this can be used only in the case where you are certain that value cannot be null, right? But we are using optional, right? Then it doesn't make sense to use this method directly because our main purpose of using this is to avoid runtime exceptions related to object coming as null, right? So in that case, how we can avoid that? So first we need to check the presence, whether the element is present. So for that, optional has provided us this is present method. So if the value is present, you can do something. You can get the value as well, right? Handling the absence. In case value is not present, right? In that case, what we can do? We have this way: optional value or else, right? Here you can provide any value. Then this will be the value assigned to this particular variable, right? Then there are, it also provides you the flexibility of using chaining operations. For example, like if optional value is present, like if present, sorry. So this was is present, but it is if present. So if value is present, just pass like using lambda, we are just printing out the value, right? So this is very basic of optional. There are various method in it and like, but to start with, these are enough and then we are going to have the demo and we are going to discuss some more methods, right? Now, going ahead, let us start with FlatMap now. Now, talking about FlatMap. So FlatMap, it is a method of stream interface which is used to flatten the element of a stream of stream into a single stream. So many a times you can come across a scenario where you have stream of stream, maybe list of list or map of map, and you need to convert them, maybe filter them, maybe perform mapping operation on them. But in the end, you need single list or single stream from stream of stream or list to list, right? So this flat map is used for that purpose. It will flatten out the end result that you want to achieve, right? So why use flat map? It's useful when dealing with nested collection as we discussed, especially in the scenarios where you want to transform or filter elements within nested structure. So to using it, how to use it? First one is flattening the streams. For example, here we have taken like this is list of string, right? There's a list of string, and then there is a list which is list of string, right? Here we have the first list of string which is having 1, 2, then this is second list of string, and then this is third list of string, right? And in the end, this is list of string. Now our end goal here is to flattening the stream. So in the end, we want a single stream or single list. Of course, here we will have the stream, but when we will use collect the two list, then we will have the list. So in the end, we want to have just one list which will have all of these elements, right? So maybe when you are calculating or maybe doing some operations during your test automation, you can come across such scenarios where you want to merge, like merge list of list or merge lists into single list, right? So there you can use this concept. In the end, here we can see how we can use it. Just use FlatMap and then collection stream method. It will convert the incoming stream into a single stream, and then you can collect it, right? And then the other use is mapping and flattening. So here we have taken list of string only, where we have two string hello and world. And here we have again created a list of string, but what we are doing is like we are traversing through each word one by one. We are splitting the word into characters, so HELLO. Then we are flat mapping it, right? Array stream, and then distinct. We are going to just print the distinct character one by one, and then we are going to collect the distinct character into a string. So in the end, you will get one by one character, like it is list of string, but it will have one character, and it will not be having duplicate characters because we have using this distinct here, right? So these are some basic, very simple examples of how you can use flat map. Now we have gone through the concept of both optional and flat map, and now let us see a demo of how we can use this concept in test automation. Now for demo purpose, I have created a sample class here. So what we are going to do is we are going to use, let's take an example. We are going to use some sample site, sample expa, sample element, but in the end, we just want to see how we can use the optionals, right? The flat map, for flat map, we have already seen the examples. Most of the time, these will be used during in-depth calculation within your test automation scripts, but the concepts are clear, I think. And for optional, let me show you a quick demo. So what we will use is like, for example, there is a application, web application, right? And we want to get the price of a product, and we just want to pass the product name, and on basis of that we want to see the price, right? So let me create a method public, as we are discussing about optionals, so it will return optional of double, as we are talking about price. So let's use double here, right? And then get product price. Let me pass web driver instance, and then string product name. Now, the first thing is like we need to use catch block. We are talking about null conditions, right? Here we are using optional, and the concept behind optional is like there can be null values, and you want to avoid that. You want to avoid null pointer exceptions. So there can be a chance that maybe the product is not present. If the product is present, the price is not present. We are talking about elements, right? So in that case, what we can do? In that case, we will be using first a web element. First we'll reach out to the product, right? First we'll reach out to the product, and then we'll reach out to the price of the product. So normally this is how, maybe you will have a table. First you will find the product, where you can see the X path, and then after finding the product you will see maybe the column related to that product and find the price, right? So let me do that. And here what we'll do is driver dot find element, and here xpath is like, let me say xpath using product name, right? And then maybe we will drive some product xpath using this product name, right? And it is by dot xpath. Okay, and then we want to have the price. So instead of this, we say I want price of product. So first I will use this product, because the first thing is product should be present, and then we want to reach up to the price, find element by dot xpath, right? And maybe there is some column xpath for price relative. We are using product, and then we will using relative xpath some way of using relative xpath, and then we will reach out to the column. Okay, and then we'll find just get text, and we'll use this price. Now we certainly, like in case we reach up to this particular line number 15, we are sure that yeah, the value is present. So what we can do is like just return optional dot of double dot parse double and then price, right? And then we'll have a catch block, because there can be no such element exception, right? In that case, we know either product is not present or the price is not present. Let me just rename it to price. So either product is not present or price is not present. So in that case, we know that what we need to do. We need to return optional dot empty. So you remember that, that's why I was saying most of the time you will use this empty when you are sure that yeah, the something you like something of that kind of thing has occurred which will return the null value. So you are using optional dot empty here. Now this method has been created. Now let me use psvm, and here for demo, say we are using WebDriver, and driver equal to new Chrome driver dot get sample URL, right? And now we are going to use this get product price, right? After this, just pass this driver and say your product name is maybe XYZ, right? Then what you can do is present or else, right? So this can, there are various methods like we have discussed about get. You can use stream as well, and then uh, you have is present or else get. Like there are several methods which are quite readable. Like for example, if I say is present, we have discussed, and then I'll say or else also we have discussed. Like it will give you some value, right? Some default value if it is null, and then this is or else get. So if we go here, let's discuss about this or else get. So this will take a supplier, right? Here we can see that if a value is present, return the value, otherwise returns the result produced by the supplying function. The parameter is going to be a supplier, right? So you can maybe have a method of generating random values, right? And then you can pass it here. So it will give you the that particular random value as the default value. right? Similarly, there are other ways like or else throw. So here you can, if a value is present, returns the value, otherwise it throws no such element exception. If you want some customized exception, you can use or else throw with the supplier as well, right? Maybe you want to show a new runtime exception, something like that, right? Here you can use that exception supplier. So there are various methods which are there, but most commonly used ones are the ones which I have already discussed. Now, if we talk about this one, get prod or else get, right? Not this one, sorry. It will be, let me show you one more method, is present or else, right? So what it will do, there are two things, like if present, if value is present or else. So it will take two parameters. If you'll see that it is taking a consumer, right? So it will consume something and it will not return something, right? So we have discussed this in the beginning video of this particular series about consumer, supplier, functional interface, and then predicate, right? So if you are new to this series, I'll highly recommend you to go through at least that particular video, and then you can come and see this particular video to see how these consumer suppliers, the things that we are talking about, are being used. Right, so if we discuss about that, if a value is present, perform the given action with the value, otherwise perform the given empty paste action. So let me quickly show you. So there are two ways. First is like if price is present. So if price is present, just use s out something, right? Then if value is not present, so it will be something like that, right? So here you can also have s out. So here we can say product and price are present. Price is, right, something like that. And here we can say either product or price is not present, right? So this is how we can use it, right? We have seen there can be two situations, either the value is present or the value is not present. So if the value is not present, this will be executed. We have used if present or else. If the value is present, then this will be executed, right? So this was a quick demo of how we can use optional, right? And we have already discussed about FlatMap. Those can be used about like whenever you come across a scenario where you need to flatten out the structures that you are working upon to find your expected result, or maybe achieve something during your test automation, you can use FlatMap. So that's all for this video, guys. In case you're liking the content that I'm making, please do like, share, and do subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you.